have with us Shruti, Keerti, Tandra, a health and wellness coach, cosmetologist, and a yoga teacher. So, Shruti, tell me more about your experiences.
So I was introduced to Sushumna Kriya a year ago through a friend. I had seen this one post about Amagaru coming to Hyderabad and initiating students into the yogic Kriya, and I was immediately drawn to the post. There was something that I could not take my eyes off, and I knew this was something I had to attend to explore. At this point, by then, I was already doing a certain set of kriyas from different spiritual teachers. I was pretty content and happy, but the moment I seen that post, that burning desire, to just do more, I think I didn't settle with what I was doing in the past. So I went ahead. I spoke to both my parents. I spoke to my grandmother. At that point, she was living with us. And I took all of them with me for the initiation. So
That's
with the whole
lovely.
family.
That's lovely. Usually in a family, it starts with one person being initiated, and then you
spread
pull
the
each
fire.
one out. Yeah, you start,
Yes.
or they start seeing the benefits and they start the
Correct.
practice. But
Correct.
yours is a wonderful one.
So we just walked together as a family, and then we got initiated.
A group initiation.
It was a
might I
group
say. Yeah.
initiation at ShilpakalaVedika, and it was a very, very powerful, grappling experience. Amagaru's presence was very palpable. Amagaru is truly an embodiment of love, truly an embodiment of compassion, inclusivity. Just Amagaru's enduring smile, it fills your heart with so much of peace that you could just sit there thoughtless. So I think Amagaru's presence definitely touched me.
True.
And during that experience, I remember Amagaru also telling us that it's just not me here doing this. There are many other masters who are visiting this place.
Absolutely.
And that almost made me feel like there's something more, because I was a person who always believed in the mystical, who always knew there was so much more than the material.
Yeah.
So much more than what a human eye can see. So when Amagaru said that, it was a reassurance that there's something larger in the universe,
Strengthening your belief.
Belief and something. I felt like a child,
Curious about the mystical life.
Yes, I felt like a child being reassured that there's much larger which you cannot see, but you just take the guidance, your inner guidance, and the larger will take care of you. It's like a parent. So that was my first experience with Amagaru. And usually, with that inner fire and with that inspiring talk Amagaru gave us that particular day, I went back home. I practiced Sushumna Kriya Yoga during the Sayam Sandhya time every day for about 49 days. 49 days was really beautiful. I think by the first, I think after the first 7 days, it almost became a part of my routine. Like if I did not sit down at 6, I would feel like I'm missing out on something. So I could almost feel like the inner fire, inner flame was just getting bigger and bigger, and I was enjoying my practice. I could see it growing on me. So I continued, I finished my mandala, and then I think around the 62nd or 63rd day, I don't exactly remember, my life took a 180 degrees turn.
Oh,
Something changed, not for the good, but I did believe that it was my journey and I had to take it on. And Sushumna Kriya actually was my backbone through that time, because there were many such people who were going through a similar situation in my friends and family, who completely crumbled away with the same experience that happened to them. But something larger stood by me, watching over me, that this is going to pass.
it didn't let you lose yourself.
It didn't
So
let
you
me.
stood strong.
it stood strong, and even till day, the situation still exists in my life, although it's been about 10 months. But I do have fleeting moments of pain or personal loss, but they're just moments, you know, maybe a few seconds, a few minutes. And then again, I'm my usual self. I feel invigorated. I feel like there's a certain source pouring into me constantly that keeps me joyful, happy, playful, stress free. One thing I can tell you is I have not lost my sleep, not a single day of sleep.
Due to whatever you're going through
Whatever
in
that
life
has been
right
happening
now. Yeah.
right now, I have not lost sleep. I was able to make good decisions all throughout. The negativity of the situation and the outside world did not consume me. I was able to retain my peace of mind, maintain healthy relationships, not lose myself, not allow the situation to cause bitterness in me. And I would definitely attribute it to my Kriya and the belief in three of my gurus and the rest of the masters who are supporting each one of us here.
I think it's the faith you have in them. The stronger it grows, I think you start experiencing more,
And the
more and
faith,
more of their presence.
correct. And the faith grows because you're seeing results. You
Absolutely.
see it is working for you. I would not be doing something that is not working for me. Because
Amazingly enough, this is a technique which gives you instant results. Though that shouldn't be the reason anyone is starting to meditate, but that's how kind our gurus are.
yes, they have really simplified the process. And I can say this because earlier I have done different forms of kriyas. I have done other forms of spiritual practices, but they would consume a lot of my time.
Okay.
And living in a world that is, you have to be on your feet all the time. So you cannot really attribute 3 hours or 4 hours in a day conducting yourself doing spiritual practices.
Absolutely.
On certain days, you are by yourself, you can do your practice. But Sushumna Kriya was very different, and I think it was made for the modern world because it was designed for 49 minutes. So the advantage is you just give yourself for 49 minutes, and it's like a bath to your mind. It's a bath to your entire system. It's refreshing, you're cleansed of the impurities, you're not left with any residue of the previous day or the people or the environment that you've met. So you just come out again with the same sense of energy, like a child,
Absolutely.
ever trusting again, ever wanting to take your chances, not losing hope
True.
in humanity,
True.
in the higher purpose.
And you also come out with so much energy, healing, might I add, and the strength to even go out and face whatever there is to face.
Yes. And I think this is the biggest gift our gurus have bestowed on humanity, because I believe we are mirrors to each other in relationships. This practice gives me the patience, it gives me tolerance. Above all, it allows me to love the people around me, understand them. So, which in turn comes back to me as understanding and love. So, it's like a circle of life.
It's the law of the universe.
Yes.
What
you attract,
yeah, absolutely,
comes
and
back
you
to
get
you.
back what you give out.
Yes. So I think Sushumna Kriya Yoga has given me that power to nurture my inner fire, to allow it to grow, and at the same time to give it in the environment where it is needed. And also because I am bestowed by the grace of the Gurus that it's ever flowing into me as long as I keep my spiritual practice alive.
True, that's very important.
Yes.
To keep it alive.
Yes.
To be a sincere practitioner.
Yes.
I think that's one of the important key points that everyone takes with
Yes.
Sushumna Kriya Yoga.
I see Kriya adding to me as being more efficient in the world. For me, it is not about my experiences, although I respect it, because when I study yoga, in the Yoga Sutras, it is given that many of us can get caught up with experiences and siddhis, but they should not be something that should cause an obstacle. We'll stop there because we end up thinking our subconscious believes we are different, we are superior. I have reached a point. So these are, I allow them to happen. I don't even register in my mind to go and discuss, have a conversation, tell Amagaru this has happened. For me, my most beautiful state is thoughtlessness. Like I can just sit in meditation. It's very blissful. It's very beautiful. I enjoy it. It's almost like I want more of it. So for me, this entire journey is this.
I think the beautiful point on the siddhis and what experiences you actually garner from this. I think self introspection is where you can
Yes.
actually really be
Absolutely.
aware of where you're going to.
Correct.
If it is really getting to your head,
Yes.
all these siddhis or the experiences,
Yes.
you know where to stop yourself. I think
Yes.
that's when, like, every day 10 minutes to yourself is to really point out, to actually say, this is like the point where I had the most difficulty with self introspection, because we easily point fingers at others.
Yes.
Very difficult to show ourselves the mirror.
Yes.
We have to show ourselves the mirror.
Correct.
And say, hey, you must stop here.
And that takes courage, and that courage happens only when we are ready to see ourselves the way we are, and we are not too focused on being seen a certain way in the world.
Absolutely.
So I think even when I was studying Yoga Sutras with my teacher, Saraswati Vasudevan, we learn about the Yama Niyamas. And in that, Satyam, along with Ahimsa, is a very, very powerful Yama. And the first thing that each one of us needs to practice Satyam is with ourselves, being honest to myself. Where am I? Am I experiencing greed today? Am I facing jealousy today? Am I experiencing any other form of emotions which are not nurturing me, which are not fulfilling, which are not wholesome, which can serve me and the world outside? So when I can see it, I can acknowledge it in myself. And when I see the seeds in myself, I see it in the world around me. So that's why our perception of the world is nothing but the glasses, the sunglasses and the lens that we wear. And yoga is all about clearing out that lens and removing that avaranam, that covering our samskaras, our patterns. And I think Sushumna Kriya has really reinforced and helped me remove a large part of the avaranam. Although the journey continues, the avaranam is removed and then we are constantly accumulating more and more impurities. Again, there's a new lens that's coming forth. So introspection, like Amagaru says, is extremely powerful. It is needed. 10 minutes, I think Amagaru is very generous. I think every moment we need introspection.
True. From what you're saying, I can see that you haven't limited your introspection to just 10 minutes. For you, I feel like it's an ongoing process. It's 24/7. You're introspecting throughout the day.
It is needed, I think, on this path for each of us to really see our own success, our own growth, because when we are seeing progress, at the same time we also see our limitations, and also the external world propels us into going back rather than progressing forward, and that is the real test. And for me, I know today my journey has really humbled me in a lot of ways, which otherwise I would have been all over the world. Like you said, pointing fingers that this person is responsible for the situation I'm in, this person has caused pain. Because sometimes in life, we are not always lucky to make decisions for the consequences that we face. Once we are entangled with a family, another family member can make that decision for you, and situation can become difficult. At that point, what do? What is your responsibility? Even there, I think the Kriya has given me the understanding that I do play a part even in that. And when I accept my part, that I am responsible in giving someone else the driving seat to my life, I've already played my part there. So my part is again to understand that it's fine. Let's take it by the day. Let's see where this goes, rather than.
So you're more accommodating.
I think it gives the power
To be more
naturally.
accommodating.
To be more accommodating, but again at the same time not to be taken advantage of. Absolutely. Not to be treated like you're a doormat, that she's patient, she'll take it. So I think in yoga, the most powerful thing I've learned is the Yama Niyamas. Again, your relationship with the world, learning your boundaries. How much can I step into somebody else's life? and how much can I allow someone else.
Yeah, how much permission you're letting someone choose.
Yes. And it's a very complex amalgamation because you want to be loved, you want to love, at the same time, you want to be respected, you want to respect. So it's a very delicate balance that you have to be very vigilant while playing the balance.
So basically, Sushumna Kriya has given you this beautiful balance, or you've learned how to balance.
Still learning, but I think
It's a continuous process.
it's a continuous process, but I think it's giving me a better hang of the situation and my inner world. Because once I think we are in charge of our inner world, the external situation is not much of a challenge for any of
Or
us.
I'd rather say they manage themselves.
Yes, because we've managed ourselves and we know what to do with ourselves. Yeah, that's very well put. Yes, they take care of themselves.
Yeah, they
Then
take
why
care
to
of
worry?
themselves. Absolutely. I'd even go a step ahead and say gurus take care of it for us.
Of course, absolutely. And like I said, there is a higher purpose, there is a larger intelligence that's working. Yeah.
And it's also the constant guidance. Like as you go through life, they're constantly guiding you, and you go through with this security of someone looking over you. You have this, secure feeling in your heart, like no matter where I am, what I'm up to, I know I have my gurus. That's a wonderful feeling. That's a wonderful feeling each one of us, like all of the Sushumna Kriyas are blessed with.
And this is something I really loved about the Kriya because there's a certain inclusivity at the very beginning of the process where we give out a sankalpa to the entire universe,
Absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely.
and that itself really makes us fall in love with the world. It gives us that energy to wish well for the world, which actually indirectly, if you see, we are being well, we are being taken care of.
True.
So the sankalpa that we take at the beginning, that everybody in the world must be healthy, happy, energetic, and peaceful. Simple words, but do you see the impact it leaves in your own mind? It makes you feel like a mother.
True.
It makes you feel like we are responsible for the world. So first, let me take care of myself so that I want to take care of the world, and I'm wishing well for everyone out there.
Yeah. And Shruti, do you remember this is also a constant reminder that we get from Amagaru? The way we say Mangalam, Nitya Shubha Mangalam all the time.
Yes.
Or also, Amagaru in one of the sessions, one of the initiation session, asked us to give out positive thoughts to every random stranger you come across.
Yes.
And that's so wonderful. That's exactly the motto.
Yes.
That's exactly how we start,
Yes.
wishing well for everyone.
Yes. And this is something that is most undermined and underestimated by many people, the power of a positive affirmation or a positive thought. You know what it can do at a very logical level. What does a negative thought do to me? Right now, if I'm sitting here and I'm wondering, is it going to rain? Are we going to finish? Are there going to be snakes here? My mind is already consumed by 100 other thoughts. But what if I just said, this moment I'm okay, let me just finish? It's like a reassurance on my shoulder, like a mother telling me, I'm there. So the thought does that to us. So I think it's very important because at the same time, like I said, yoga is all about balance. Just like our Sushumna is like the central channel between the Ida and the Pingala. Not looking at a situation which is completely hopeless and still thinking things will happen for us. To be able to look at things the way they are, but retain our positivity that things can always get better and this is a temporary phase.
Absolutely, wonderfully put. It's the change in perspective.
Yes.
You're actually looking forward for the good,
Yes.
but also accepting the worst.
Yes.
Because you know that's your karma. That's the way Ammagaru has taught us.
Yes.
You're prepared
Yes.
for whatever there is to come.
Yes.
You know that it's your karma.
Yes. Which does not activate the victim archetype.
Absolutely.
You're always ready to witness, and at the same time, it does not activate the warrior archetype that you want to go fight and get things under control.
True.
It puts you in a meditative space.
It's only when you think, from the victim point of view, or when you think why it's happening to me, the defense comes out.
Yes.
Now, since you're more accepting of the fact that
What is
The
my
worst can
part?
come,
Yes,
and
and
I'm
what is
ready
my
for
part?
it because could be my doing.
Yes.
So yeah.
And trust me, each one of us will take onus for the actions we have done. The
I
major
think
conflict
I think
comes.
since Sushumna Kriya Yoga, we are all taking it.
Yes, we are definitely taken care of on that part because we see our part in the world
Absolutely.
and the roles that we play in the world.
Since you already have a lot of experience of practicing so many techniques and starting at a very early age, how do you think Sushumna Kriya Yoga has impacted your life?